Divorce is an option, people. You do not have to stay married to somebody you don't like. So much of this movie could have been avoided if we just signed some divorce papers or went to counseling. So let's talk about this craziness. So the main couple is Joanna and Walter, who are a young married couple from New York City who moved to a suburb in Connecticut. Walter is a lawyer and Joanna is an inspiring photographer. Now, as they're moving their stuff in the first day, Walter gets a casserole from one of the neighbors named Carol. Now, Casserole Carol seems a little weird, but it's harmless. The next day, Joanna tries to return her casserole dish, and Carol is basically getting felt up by her husband in broad daylight. And Joanna's just looking like, oh, so that's how we get down in Stepford. Now, Joanna's husband Walter is in a men's association, which is basically a boys' club. There's no girls allowed. Now, every husband in Stepford is associated with the boys' club. They have like one supermarket in this town, and for some reason, the bagger guy is like directing traffic. But he didn't do a good job because somebody got rear ended. It was actually Casserole Carol, and she's over here like, oh my god, oh, ouch, my head. They immediately take her to the hospital. Now, Joanna's like, I know we're new here, but isn't the hospital over there? Why did they take her over there? And Joanna's husband is like, by golly, you're right. And the next day, we get introduced to a girl named Bobby, who's one of the wives, who's pretty normal. Bobby and her family recently moved into the neighborhood, and it kind of seems like she's not like a regular wife. She's a cool wife. Now, back home, Walter convinces Joanna to host one of his boy club meetings. So as she's just sitting in this meeting minding her own business, this guy over here is literally doodling her. Now, this guy over here, his name is Dis, short for Disney, because he used to work at Disney. Coach Carr, keep away from the underage girls. But Dis basically runs the neighborhood. He's the leader of the boys club. So Dis throws a party, and it seems like Joanna and Bobby are like the odd ones out because they actually look normal. And that's another thing. This movie has the best looks. Like, everyone is serving. I just know the 70s were a time if you were skinny. Now, Carol is over here getting tipsy. She is having a good time. But she keeps on repeating this phrase, I'll just die if I don't get this recipe. We get introduced to another wife who is really cool, really sexy, and pretty much normal just like Joanna and Bobby. She plays tennis, she has hobbies outside of cooking and baking, like she's cool. So the women in this town are really weird. They don't really have their own thoughts, they dress like Betty Homemaker, and they're pretty freaky. Bobby and Joanna are like, I've had enough. We need to have our own little girls club. Let's see if the wives want to have a girls club. They actually do get a club going. And Joanna's like, look, we get to just talk about whatever we want and to think however we want to think. What do you guys want to talk about? These ladies look like they have never had an original thought a day in their life. But Joanna's like, all right, well, I feel like Walter loves law more than he loves me. And Charmaine is like, honestly, I'm in a loveless marriage. I'm basically a trophy wife. One of the wives goes, oh, I didn't bake anything tonight. Like, that literally starts a trifecta of all the wives being like, oh my god, here's a cleaning hack, here's a cooking recipe, like. Now, they heard from the grapevine that there was a women's club and that Carol was the leader. So Bobby and Joanna are questioning her, like, what happened? And she's just like, look, we never got anything useful done. I like to have my house looking good. Now we head to Charmaine's place and we see that her tennis court is being ripped up. We also see a doodle. She tells the girls, look, I love my house being clean. I love to serve my man. I didn't know I was doing anything bad enjoying hobbies. Bobby's like, look, there's something in the water. We need to test it out. Because what is going on in this town? They get it tested and nothing comes up. So this freaks Bobby out. She's just like, me and you, we need to get our family and get the fuck out of Dodge because this is not where we're gonna die. She's like, before that though, me and my husband Dave, we're gonna go on vacation for the weekend. Could you take care of our kids and dog? Now this part floored me because no, like, that is such short notice. What? The movie becomes very like cheaper by the dozen for a little bit. And honestly, this part right here, I already didn't like Walter, but this entire time his wife's hand is full and he's just like, I need more coffee. I need more coffee. I need more coffee. But throughout the movie, Joanne is trying to pursue a career in photography, and she actually gets a really good interview. So she wants to share the good news with her friend Bobby. But I don't think that's Bobby.
If you're going to tell me you don't like this dress, I'm sticking my head right in the oven.
She's like, what happened to you and what happened to us leaving? And Bobby goes, why would I leave? There's low taxes, good school, clean air. And Bobby also has a doodle. Joanna has had enough. She goes home and tries to vent to Walter. He of course doesn't believe her, and he's like, hey, you need to see a therapist. Now, at this point, I really feel for Joanna, because she truly has nobody to talk to. She has nobody that's going to really believe her at this point. Trying to tell the therapist how she feels like every man in this town is involved with changing their women somehow. She's like, I don't know how to explain it, but they're just not normal. They love to clean. They love to cook. They love to cater their man. They have no original thought. They have no hobbies, no independence. Like, it's the worst feeling knowing something is true but having no evidence. The lady's like, all right, look, I'll be gone for the weekend, but when I come back, and Joanna's like, no, there will be no coming back, because when you come back, I won't be here. I won't be the same girl that loves photography and whatnot. Therapist is like, bet. So what I want you to do is get your family and get the fuck out of here ASAP. When she gets home, Walter will not tell her where the kids are. So they have a little scuffle, and she basically leaves the house without him knowing. Goes to Bobby's house thinking the kids are going to be there, which they're not, and she's at her wit's end. Joanna picks up a knife and she's like, do you bleed? Look, I bleed. Do you bleed? And of course, we know that she does not bleed, but she does stab her. Bobby is appalled and shocked that she would do something like that, even though no blood comes out of her, and she starts tweaking.
I thought we were friends. I thought we were friends. I thought we were friends.
We cut to one of the cops telling Walt that the roads are closed down, everyone is looking for her, the phones are down, we're good. Oh, but lo and behold, she's actually right behind you, Walter. Finally tells her where they are, and they're at the boys' club mansion place. Throughout this mansion, she keeps hearing, Mommy, Mommy. So of course she thinks it's the kids, but when she opens up the door, it's a tape recording. It's a tape recording of the kids yelling, Mom. Lo and behold, Dis is over there. It's like, wow, we finally got you. You know, you were the brightest one yet. You're a smart girl. He's like, perfect. Are you ready to transform? And she's like, hell no. Why are you doing this? And he literally says, because we can. There's a whole cat and mouse chase scene, and then she runs into a room which looks identical to the room at her house. She sees her doppelganger looking all pretty in the vanity with black eyes. She also has a pair of pantyhose that she's going to use to like choke Joanna. And we cut to the lovely supermarket where all the women are like, hello Marie. Hello Charmaine, how was your day? We see Bobby, and then we see Joanna greeting Bobby, and then we see Joanna looking like a Stepford and acting like a Stepford. And the movie just ends with melancholy music as she stares blankly. Again, divorce is an option. You don't have to turn your spouse into a robot.